So guys, I'm sitting in New York at the moment. It's my last night until I jump on the plane and back to the normal studios. So today I want to jump on and obviously chat about the small pullback currently happening. Yesterday we started to get a little bit of a push up in the market, and then all of a sudden we started to get a little bit of a strong reversal. And for me, it's like either we're looking at a very strong double bottom or double range push from Bitcoin, which I feel is one of the perfect buying zones for Bitcoin. But there's a second scenario, which will give us an even better entry within Bitcoin and the altcoins. And I want to speak about all the altcoin trades that I'm currently taking now and the ones that I think are good. I'm talking about Lido, I'm talking about Render, I'm talking about many of the tokens that have been good trading tokens while we wait for Bitcoin to range. We spoke about Bitcoin ranging yesterday and taking a few more days until a really big breakout could be happening. And we want to be focusing on the correct tokens to trade in that range at the moment, but also prepping ourselves, guys, that weekly RSI is getting to the bottom. And if we hold certain levels, this will be the best time to be dollar costing into your portfolio and making sure that your portfolio is balanced and ready for it to come. No more wasting time. It's going to be a big show. Let's get into it.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, 𝗕𝗊𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, 𝗕𝗊𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper.
Crypto Banter fam, I need to double check and see that we are on the correct mic. Let's have a look. This should be better. What's happening, guys? Hope you're having a fantastic day. I got one more day of travels. It's been a crazy journey. I spoke about this yesterday. The inspiration in crypto right now. It was crazy to see that the Bitcoin Miami was obviously smaller this year. I think it was around 15,000 people, maybe around half of what was there last year. But the difference is there's no more fluff, right? This has been an 18-month, sort of downtrend market, bear market. And these are the ones that are surviving, the people that are there at these events. And it's amazing to see how people still build. And now I'm seriously understanding the mentality between people that make it in the game versus people that actually don't, and the patience factor. Even me, I'm like, guys, I'm sitting here and alt season, like what's happening? Well, why are we still getting nothing? But there's another part of me that's sitting and saying, like, one day you're going to be upset you never took advantage when this is no longer there. And we got to know that, yes, sometimes our strategies do slightly adjust, but we also got to look at it in a really good way, that possibly a little bit more downside within the market will give us even better opportunities. Where we're sitting at right now, we need to start thinking about the bigger term portfolios, and understanding what can we still get at these current levels. I think it's such a big mental game, guys. Secondly, above it, I found my passion back. So I just want to sit here and start off and say I missed you guys very much, firstly. Secondly, I'm feeling really good, guys. By meeting the Banter fam and by meeting many people, it sparked back in me what we're actually doing here. And the teaching and the joy and the energy within the shows. And I'm just pumped to be back. Thank you guys for all the love and support. It's incredible to see everyone's story and to see how people are just, we're using each other to get through currently what's happening. Just know, guys, I am here. I'm the same guy that joined Crypto Banter. I've learned a lot. I've been dragged in many different ways. But ultimately, I'm still here for that one goal, and that one mission is to not always be perfect in front of your eyes, but to never quit, and to just keep building in front of you so that you can keep believing and you can keep pushing every day. So I just want to start off today by saying, guys, let's do it. Let's keep going. I know the market's crazy, but I'm here, and let's make it all happen. So, guys, subscribe, hit the like button, and let's get into the content. So the first thing I want to obviously speak about quickly is let's jump into here, so just mind I do have one screen again. There we go. So we had a few fake outs yesterday, which we'll speak about, but I think the first thing is let's quickly speak about Bitcoin and what we're doing. So as I spoke about yesterday, guys, I think Bitcoin's just going to range for a while. We start to get a little bit of a short-term, red candle. But it is something we've seen recently quite a bit, where every time we're starting to get, to the higher levels of the 27,500, we're starting to get a little bit of these pullbacks. And maybe what that's starting to indicate is maybe there is a slighter lower low than what we did hit. Now, we did hit 25,800, and that was a pretty good candle. To see that big buy up over there, definitely showing interest in these areas. And we know the $25,000 level is the 200 weekly moving average. We got a lot of support in that area. And as soon as price did go there, we did see the reaction that we wanted to see. Now, that's obviously what we want to continue to see. The only issue that we're getting right now is we're not really making much progress to the upside in the shorter time frame. We keep hitting basically the similar rooftop, and we keep getting rejected. And what it's basically meaning is either we're going to literally sit for the next day or two and just keep in this tiny range. Okay, and what this will do, guys, is first it will be a small little range, but this will cause Bollinger Bands, everything to squeeze, because it will just get to such a critical stage where it's going to make a huge decision to either refuel and go tempt those new tops. And I think if we do go chase that $31,000 level, the high, another time, two options: a double top, or we smash it. And if we smash it, I really think 35, 36, we've got CME gaps over there, and we got the higher levels. And it's the same thing with the downside. If we didn't decide to just trail sideways like this, and we do lose that 25, that 23,000 and 22,000 that we spoke about a week or two ago, it does become a possibility. And it doesn't matter anymore, guys. We just got to sit there and be prepared for either one. But what I am seeing here is the first play of, yes, we just drag sideways. But secondly, we're not really getting much of these, we're not getting any momentum to the upside. And what that may mean is maybe a short-term lower low just before that. So what I mean by that is we start to lose this 26,500. So basically, if you see here, we started to lose a small trend. And if we don't break into that trend within today, which is basically back above the 27,000 area, it's very likely we're going to go tempt these previous lows over here, which is the $25,800, $26,000 level, or even slightly lower towards the 25. And for me, guys, I am getting ready and am looking to add at the first test of this level. This previous push that we did to 28.5, it is the 200 weekly, but there's a lot of support at 25. And I think if we do decide today, it looks like it is going to be a slightly bearish red day. If we do go down to those levels, I'm starting to get some orders ready in these areas over here, because that's the main trend line. That's the main bullish trend line. You can see since we started this uptrend of the year, if we can get down to those areas over there, I'm definitely seeing a short-term bounce there. If we do not get the higher high after that, we can start to prep for maybe a bigger move. But that will definitely be a point of interest of where we're going to be looking at longing the market at any moment. So now that we got that basic understanding within Bitcoin, now we start looking and seeing where are we with the altcoins. So the first ones, let's speak about yesterday. I spoke about the two scenarios, and I'm going to continue to do this for you guys. So I do believe that the market's in a good range to trade. And I want you guys to Josh, if you can even put a poll up for me and to ask the community, who's scared to trade right now? Either right now or always been scared to trade. It's a big one. And what I want people to really understand is while we're in this range for Bitcoin, which I think it will range for a little while, this is probably one of the best times to take small accounts and to literally start. You need to start. You need to finally start. Because yesterday, when you see this flag, to lose this doesn't make sense, right? It really, really doesn't, because ultimately we had the two plays of either the bullish play over here, or we have the bearish play. And whatever candle close you close outside of this flag is the direction, guys. And I gave the short as well. And you can see as soon as we lost the support over here was the perfect time to put a short, put a stop loss above the previous high over here, and to be in the money. So if you did get the shorts, let me know in the comments. I want to see if you guys did get the shorts. And now I don't want you shorting now today. You would have missed the shorts, in my opinion. Especially on the short time frame. Now you start prepping. So guys, I think now we get into a point of nearly time to long Litecoin. We've seen a lot of interest. We've seen very good amounts of strength towards Bitcoin, good amounts of volume within the market. And now I'm focused on this play over here. So now I know that this is in play. And ultimately, what I'm trying to see is this was definitely a higher high. And I'm basically looking at something that's giving me a sort of inverse head and shoulders vibe, which means that this current move over here is something like this. And this is where I want to be focusing on this pullback over here and then be catching for the next bounce. If we can get a higher low from here, higher high would be good. So I'm focused on this area. So the 618 is the big zone that I'm focusing on this current move, taking it from the bottom to the top and ultimately looking at buying this area. Secondly, I do have this horizontal support over there too. And then obviously, thirdly, what I want to see is I want to see the RSIs getting tapped out, which we are on the 4-hour. And I'd probably like to see it a little bit low on the 8-hour. So probably in the next 8 to 10 hours will be the area of where I want to get it. So I'm personally going long on Litecoin between $80 and $82. This will be some for spot, definitely. Areas that I'd protect myself is between this low in case there's a really, really big drop off. Other than that, I am definitely accumulating Litecoin, which was a bit too expensive yesterday, and it's better now. Now, we spoke about the two scenarios of render, guys, that either we're going to reject. So I just want to quickly update from the trades we spoke about yesterday. So either we were going to reject or we want to see something like this. And it's teaching you, the patient game, that even though we're at an area of, whoa, render hit $3, and ultimately from here we can break to the next higher levels, I would rather let it break first, retest, and then be getting in. So the play that it's looking at now at the moment is the secondary play. And I think it's going to be a great area to yet again load up your render, guys, because render, we can see how it explodes. And we want to just be focusing on the main basic level. Sort of make sense of where we can be buying this thing at a good rate. And what seems to be really good with render at the moment is literally loading up every time it hits the support trend line. It's been doing this for a while now, and it's tested it many, many, many times. And every time we test this major trend over here has been a good area to dollar cost within it. And you can see every time we do get to the bottom, we end up doing crazy results to the upside. So I'm looking at this now coming and starting the pullback, which highlights this area of around $2 for me. So for me, I'm at the point where whenever render's hitting the $2 mark, I'm dollar costing in. I think render is going to be an absolute huge explosive token in the bull market. And we can see the amount of interest that's happening now and the amount of volume happening now within the USDT pair and within the Bitcoin pair. And that's definitely a token that I'm focusing on. We had KAVA from yesterday. So guys, this one's still for me. Quick update on this one. Still for me around the dollar to the $1.10, $1.15 is my area. I'm still looking at this play. Even though Bitcoin's pulling back, this is looking incredibly strong. So KAVA's got a lot of interest at the moment and good volume. So if you're looking for a coin to trade at the moment, while you're waiting for the rest for Bitcoin to make the big decision, this is definitely one of them. Now, guys, I want to quickly explain to you the different mentality you need to think right now. You got to keep yourself busy and keep yourself warm. You got to stay in the game, right? And that's why I focus on the tokens that are in and perfectly to trade at the moment. But I need you to also zoom out and look at, again, I have 20 coins in my long-term portfolio. You need to rate them. How many of them are good? Your entries. If only 5 of them are good, amazing. We got to get rid of at least 10 of the bad ones and make them even better. Like, I need you to start understanding that yes, short time frame, we're looking for trades, and that's good. You got to stay in the game. But when it comes to higher time frames, guys, again, we're sitting with things like Chainlink, possibly going down to the bottom of this range again. This thing's been ranging for so long and ultimately been respecting this range for so long. And if you see over here, the many times we've hit the tops and bottom, like Chainlink's getting there again. So if you had a bad, let's say you got 3 coins right now. You got Cardano, you got, let's say 4 coins. Cardano, AVAX, Solana, and Chainlink, okay? And your Cardano is a good entry, your Solana is a bad entry, your AVAX is a bad entry, and your Link is semi-average. Like, I would be getting rid of 2 of those tokens to a very small percentage, and I'd be loading up on the ones to get them to good entries. So for me, here again, we have Chainlink hitting towards the the low $6, which has always been a great area, but anywhere between 5.5 and 6 has always been a range, great range low to dollar cost and to build. Because I still think there's a $100 chain link in the future. I really do. Like, I've had a lot of passion for this token, which I know we speak about emotions and things like that. But when it comes to my long term, I do think this token is going to do really well. And every time we have hit these range lows, you know, range low, range high, range low, range high, range low, range high. And it's the same thing. So you could see this range is 100% range now. So wherever I'm loading up at $6, the scenario that I'm looking to paint out first is back to the $9 to $10. And obviously I'm waiting for the big day that we break through that. And anything I'm buying here will be way in profit. Now, guys, I want to say this one more time. Any of your tokens, if your entries are sitting here, you have two options. And this is from the previous bull market. This is from, you know, anytime you've joined crypto. If your entries are up there on the weekly chart, you got two options. You either have to fix that entry or you got to get rid of it. Like, you can't start at the start of a bull run, like just making everything back. Like, you either sit here today and you make a decision. You're like, either I'm going to fix that entry and that's going to take a little bit of farming, or it's going to take maybe slightly a little bit more capital, because whatever I bought there, if I just buy a very small percentage of it here, I can bring those entries down, or cut it, guys. Get over it. Like, you need to go into this next market run, which I believe the bull market's already started. The indicators have showed me so. It just shows me the bull market only accelerates really fast at the end, and takes a lot of these choppiness and these depression phases, you know, but technically it's still the start of the market. And you need to start that market ahead. And that means you got to have good entries. So any of these bad ones, it hurts, it sucks, but you got a job to do. Either you got to fix that entry or get rid of it, cut it. It will hurt for one day. Tomorrow you're over it. You've been way through worse, and you get better entries. And make sure ultimately you're getting entries in these bottom phases. You know, it's the same thing. We jump back to the Bitcoin chart over here. We want to make sure we are getting Bitcoin, and I'll raise all of this just to get to in the bottom phases, in these areas here. These are the phases we want to make sure that we are loading up and make sure that our entries are at least sitting. So when the market explodes at any moment, I don't want to hear that, this Sheldon was altcoin season. Guys, it's coming at any moment. Again, we have Bitcoin dominance sitting at the top of that range. It still has not broke these highs. And previously, we got to understand that every time it's hit you, it has come down to the bottom. May this be a huge market correction. May it be just the altcoin awakening at any single moment. We don't know in crypto, but it happens at any moment. So fixing the entries is a big one. Now, let's quickly jump back to some of the smaller term trades, because the coins that I want to focus on is XRP. So XRP, guys, forming this trend, but I think we're going to have a higher low here. If Bitcoin holds that low or holds the $25,000 level, I think we're going to have a good higher low within XRP, and it's going to probably take it towards the early 40 cents mark, and I think it's going to be a great area for to buy. I'm going to be loading up some XRP in the area, and secondly, I do have this wedge over here. If we break the wedge to the upside, I'm looking at the next run. When we start the bullish run, we start to break this trend over here. I'm looking at the 60-cent mark. You know, like I said, same thing with Bitcoin. We either we double top, or we do break it. We break it, I'm seeing 80 cents. But I am focusing on building some XRP. I'm seeing good volume, guys. Any coins that I'm seeing good volume at these areas, I'm interested. The same one I spoke about yesterday, Cardano. It's in there again. If you want a dollar cost, it's up to you. Super Farm, same thing. Super Farm, I would like to see us hold this trend. So if you are any short-term trends at the moment, I would just look at your position size, like how much is in at the moment, as we're waiting for Bitcoin to bounce. So if you do have too much in this trade or anything like that, just de-risk slightly. But I'm still looking at this possibility. And what I would actually like to see on the 12-hour and 8-hour is I'd give it a little bit of time here. And if we can form like a pin bar candle where this current redness can get bought up, I see this still an hour, or even within today, right? Then it'll be good for me to possibly look at, okay, we are going to hold this level. We're just waiting on Bitcoin for this trade. But if it holds the support and Bitcoin has bounced good, you know, this will obviously be a great long within super. We can be slightly patient with the dough. A few other tokens quickly. So BNB, guys, if the market turns really bearish, now I've been speaking bullish and these things. If it turns bearish, let's talk about a few plays. BNB is going to fall hard. Now, I don't know if this comes to news. I don't know what it comes down to. But if we don't get a strong bounce within BNB and it loses the areas of $300, I'm looking at this go back to $200. So whatever that may be, but that's a 30% crash within BNB. And that can either be through news, it can be through, I'm not too sure, like what would come. You know, they say the chart always comes first before the news. All that I'm saying is if the market does to go bearish, BNB is probably going to be a really good bet to be making good cash. And the way you would trade it is you would basically wait to see that we close below the 300 mark on the daily, and your shorts will basically be around 315 above these previous highs, and your TPs will be around 240, 220, and 200. And if we look at percentage wise, it's pretty big. So I don't know what's going on there, but there is some sort of scenario that comes out that something happens with Binance, and I don't know what it may be, but let's just pay attention, just be aware that that is there. Same thing with Fantom. I was opening some small term longs, and I still have a little bit of them open at the moment, but I am going to be looking at de-risking at the moment because it looks like Bitcoin does want to make the lower point and the market doesn't look too good today. So I do think that we're going to have better entries. So I'm going to slightly de-risk on this trade over here, and I'm looking at around 28 to 30 cents within Fantom now, which I think is crazy. I think for long-term portfolio, it's a great dollar cost zone. We have things like GRT, so there's a Chinese narrative coming possibly, and might be the next narrative for the next strong bounce. We shall see. But I'm focused on a few tokens, as in CFX and GRT. So I think GRT is going to be one that's going to pull back pretty strong towards the 10 cents sort of mark. I'm dollar costing this token, a very fun bull market token. And good company. We have ANKR protocol, same thing. I'm looking at ANKR, make another possible 10% lower where it is now, but I'm getting it anywhere between 2 cents, 2.3 cents. I'm loading up for the long-term portfolio. I'm buying some DYDX on this pullback. So you guys can still see, guys, I haven't been speaking about this whole bull market vibes, right? And things like that, and this alt season. Like now you just see me buying. You know, we spoke about alt season, everyone wants to buy things. Like for me, it's like, okay, cool. It's been slightly prolonged. It's not happening right now. But I'm buying a lot, guys. I'm buying and adding through to these long-term portfolios. I'm expanding my portfolio as the market goes down. Not crazy percentages. I'm loading a lot more on Bitcoin and ETH, definitely, because I feel the big daddies are getting to reasonable prices where they're worth it. And if you had to ask me something like, would you take 100 altcoins? Would you take Bitcoin at a really good price? You know, I might choose Bitcoin at a really good price. That's why the fact that Bitcoin's getting to the 26,000s again, and if it does go to 23, like, then I'm going to be looking at buying more Bitcoin. But as things stand, I still think Bitcoin and ETH are slightly higher, and I think altcoins are just at good areas to be balancing and adding to the portfolio. So DYDX, anywhere between the 1.8 and $2 is my first dollar cost. There is lower areas, and I'll save some cash for that. But for now, at that level, another coin I'm taking advantage of, which I think will be a good inverse head and shoulders, is this Luxo. You know, token been accumulated for a while, and I've been hearing good things, so I'm going to be adding up a little bit more between the $8 and $9 mark. And I'm basically looking at this inverse head and shoulders sort of play over here. I saw we had CFX, and Dill gave this to me because we're forming this sort of wedge. So if you're looking for some trades, you know, you're going to have a decision made probably in the next 12 hours within CFX, and it's either going to be a great long. So you can see what I've done. If you jump to the 8-hour chart over here, we got the original trend over here. The only thing with this trend, just be aware, is you want to close outside. So you can see there's been little wicks above, but I've been using the closing as well. So you want to see the close above. And then you got these 2 wicks at the bottom over here, and we're forming this sort of flag thing over here. If we break the top, I think this flies, guys. I think you got yourself a good 30 to 40% trade to the upside. I would only spot trade this. I wouldn't leverage trade it, right? It's just too volatile. And then you got the low over here. What I mean by spot, guys, also 1x. If you 1x on a futures exchange, amazing. That's perfect because you can long and you can short. Because if we lose the lows over here, I think you got a good 10, 15, 20% short too as well. So as a trading coin, I'm not really loading too much, a little bit long term, but not too much on the long term side. The next one is Injective. Guys, I'm buying a lot of Injective if it goes to $6. Like this thing was previously $10. I think it was like 2-3 weeks back. We like Injective. Now there's 2 areas. As I just said now, $6. And then there is a crazy level if Bitcoin goes to 22, and that's around about the 4.5 to 5. So I'm buying here personally, but I am keeping a little bit of cash in case we do have a really crazy drop. And I would put some cheeky orders here around $5 because that would be obviously a steal if we can get at those areas. And then secondly, above that, if you want to buy little bits now, it's an amazing strategy because you'll also know that when we eventually break this trend, last call, get the rest of it in. So if you start doing 10% now, 10% tomorrow, amazing, fantastic. And then by the time we break this trend, you just want to have a good part of your position in. And then the last one that I speak about, Lido. Lido, I think we're going to get between 1.6 and 1.8, guys. New tokens. I think they're going to be the ones that explode in the next bull market. They're going to be really, really, really good. Who knows? This next altcoin bull market that we stack those bags, stacks as well, also a big one. The new tokens, I think, are going to be the ones that really outperform a lot of the rest of the market. So, guys, I'm going to travel. I don't think I'm doing a show tomorrow, but I'll be back in action on Friday, right? Friday, we're back. We're going to hit it hard. I'm excited to bring you the whole new version of the shows. Get back to the trading. Get back to what we do. For now, stay mentally strong. Look after your body. Eat well. And have good people around you. And I'll see you all tomorrow, guys. Much love and have a great day. Much love.